Hi everybody, and welcome back to another term at Mildert College. I hope that everybody had a terrific Christmas break and that you've arrived back refreshed and ready to start your studies again. Unfortunately, COVID is still with us, and so I wanted to do a short video just outlining the restrictions that we have in place, the processes and procedures that we have in place at Mildert to make sure that everyone in our community stays as safe as possible. As you know, the Omicron variant is now the dominant variant. It's more transmissible than previous variants, and that means we're going to be tightening up some of our restrictions over the first 2 weeks of the term. So we're going to have a soft start to Epiphany term with fewer activities and less mixing of students in the first 2 weeks. And the idea here is just to try and keep the virus under control as much as we can and avoid the really big spike. First of all, if you have COVID symptoms or you've recently tested positive, we ask you not to come back to college. If you're free of symptoms, please come back and join us in college, but please test on arrival. We're going to ask you, as we did back at the start of the Michaelmas term, to test on day 1, day 4 and day 7. And we have testing sites just across the road in the car park next to Trev's College and over the other side of the college in Howland's car park. Those sites are going to be up and running for the first 10 days of term to make it really easy for you to get your LFT tests on days 1, 4 and 7 when you arrive. In college, our approach to COVID remains more or less the same as it was last term. And remember, there are 3 pillars to our approach. The first one is masks. We ask you to keep wearing your masks in the main college building, except when you're seated in the dining hall, the bar, or the library. Second pillar is test to participate. We're asking you to show evidence of a negative LFT test from a Durham University testing site in the last 48 hours before you participate in any kind of wider student experience activities, including coming into our college bar. And as we did last term, we're going to have COVID marshals on duty to check those tests. And the third pillar is ventilation. We are going to be keeping the windows open even though it's cold. We believe here at Mildert that there's no such thing as cold, only well ventilated. And so we're keeping the windows open where we can. We're monitoring CO2 levels in most of the spaces where you gather together. And that is the third thing that we're really keeping an eye on. For the first 2 weeks, you'll see some changes in the way teaching is delivered and also some changes in other areas of student life. Indoor activities will be capped at 25 participants, plus in some cases a coach or director, and outdoor activities will be capped at around 100. That means we've had to postpone some college events and move them out of the first 2 weeks, and we've had to put number caps on some others. But we're keeping the policy under constant review, and we hope that it will be possible to ease these restrictions again after the first 2 weeks of term. In the meantime, we very much appreciate your continued help with these restrictions, and we thank all of you for taking personal responsibility for helping make sure that everybody in our community remains as safe as we can possibly make them. Thanks very much.